Welcome back to Daytime Live. Now, like I said, we are joined via Skype by the beautiful Kalilah Reynolds. Now, she is the executive producer of the informative Taking Stock show on YouTube and also Money Mondays JA. Welcome, Kalilah.
Hey, Kalilah, you hearing me?
Hi.
Hey,
Yes,
hey,
yes, I'm hearing you.
yeah, she introduced you as the beautiful Kalilah. I was waiting for that smile. I was waiting for the big smile, Kalilah. There it is.
Yep, here it is.
Kalilah is focused.
You know the smile with the hum? Kalilah, congratulations. I heard you just had a baby.
Yes, thank you very much. She's almost 3 months old, so a little cutie pie at home.
Wow. I did not look like that 3 months after having a baby, so I did not. So, Kalilah, how has COVID-19 been for you and also for your family?
Wow, that's an interesting question because it had forced me to stay at home for quite a while. I'm back at work now, and I won't lie, I'm kind of happy to be back at work because being at home with, when you have your loved ones, you love them dearly, right? But when you're cooped up at home with them 24 hours a day,
Right.
7 days a week, it can start becoming a bit much. So I was kind of happy to come back to work.
But how are you balancing work and family life? And what advice would you give to mothers who are doing the same?
Well, I find that coming back to the physical location of work actually helps because when I was at home, I was still trying to produce my show, taking stock, and still trying to do that type of work and then have the babies on my hip because I have two babies. I have a toddler who's just turned 2 and I have the 3-month-old, and then I have a teenager. And so it was really difficult trying to do everything in between diaper changes and feedings and all that. But now that I'm back at a physical location, it's much easier to compartmentalize so I can get work stuff done at work and home stuff done at home. So when I go home, it's just all about the family.
Excellent. You look amazing. Now, you have an informative show, like you said, called
Thank
Taking
you.
Stock.
Did my own makeup.
Hey, that's even more impressive. Now, Taking Stock breaks down in the easiest way all you want to know about the stock exchange and investments, etc. Now, what inspired you, Kalilah? What inspired you to start this show?
Well, let me tell you, I started this show because I started investing myself about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I started investing. I had always been reporting on these things, but I never did it myself. When I started doing myself and started
Yeah. So we have a list.
to become an evangelist for this thing. So I started, breaking down some of the terms, which I find is one of the large barriers to people participating in the market. They just don't understand. They don't understand. And so when I started breaking down the terms, breaking down what these various things mean, people started following me and started watching. And then I decided, let me take it a step further and launch Taking Stock and give people even more information because the demand for the info was there.
In your latest episode, you spoke that there'll be no dividends from banks for the end of the financial year, the 2020 financial year. Some persons don't know what a dividend is, and explain why you said that in your latest episode.
All right, so dividends are your share of the profits. When a company that's listed on the stock exchange makes a profit, they make a decision at their meeting. The shareholders come together and they vote. What are we going to do with the profit? Are we going to reinvest the profit into the company, or are we going to pay ourselves a dividend? So give ourselves a share of the profit. And when they decide to pay themselves, the shareholders, the company issues what's called a dividend. And what happened last week, Friday, is that the Bank of Jamaica said no dividends by financial institutions only for the rest of the financial year. And why they took that decision, in consultation with the banks, actually, because it was an ask, it wasn't a demand. They don't have the power to demand it at this time. They can if it becomes an emergency. But they consulted with the banks agreed that they would not pay dividends for the rest of the financial year. And that is because the Bank of Jamaica wanted to preserve banks' ability to repay people who save at the bank. So if I want to go to the bank to take out my money out the ATM, the BOJ wants to ensure that the banks actually have the cash in there to be able to give you and me back our money when we go to the ATM.
Right. Excellent.
Just in case this thing gets any worse.
I agree. I agree. That would be awful. So you have a Money Mondays JA show. What exactly is Money Mondays JA? Talk us through that a little bit.
Okay, so I have a number of programs, but the two of them that I promote the most are Money Mondays JA and Taking Stock. So Money Mondays is the program where I just break down financial terms for ordinary people who just want to get a better understanding. I also do a lot of prospectus reviews. So whenever a new company is listing or intends to list, they issue what is called a prospectus, which tells you all the things about that you need to know about the company, what their financial situation is like, what the company actually does to make money, who the directors are. It gives you the outlook for the company. They can tend to be very lengthy. Like the one for Trans-Jamaican Highway the other day was 300 and odd pages. Yeah. And so a lot of people kind of look at that number and they get intimidated, or they just don't want to read that many pages. So what I do is I read it and I present it in a video format, usually about between 5 and 10 minutes long. And then Taking Stock is kind of an extension of Money Mondays. That's the program where I have guests on. It's about business news, current affairs, and we also have an analyst section where I bring on analysts from the various investment firms to tell us, what they are looking at on the market for that week, why certain companies performed the way they did.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, Kalilah. When can we watch your shows, and what's your Instagram handle? Quickly, because we're running out of time.
YouTube.com/Kalilah Ray, KALILAHREY, and on Instagram, the same handle @Kalilah Ray, all over social media.
Excellent.
Thank you. Kalilah. Thank you. We'll definitely be watching.
So much. I'll be tuning in. Definitely. I need to learn how to manage the money that I don't have, but that's okay. Daytime Lab will be right back with another non-digital game. Dovton, you soon forward? Yeah, you're forward? We're soon forward. Join us after the break.